very, very special guest, Bam Bam Eggleston, the English bare knuckle boxing champion. You can see his belt there. Professional bare knuckle boxer who has competed for some of the greatest, including BTM, Ultimate Bare Knuckle Boxing, and Bad to the Bone. He plays some of the very best names in bare knuckle boxing. Also previously competed in MMA, kickboxing, unlicensed boxing, and more. And today we're going to be having a chat about his life, his career, some of his businesses he's got going on with clothing lines, title fights he's got coming up, and a whole load more. So thank you everyone for listening. And Champ, thank you for jumping on the call, mate. I'm glad to
find you. Hey guys, you all right? Hope everyone enjoys this interview. You all right, buddy?
Brilliant, yeah. So Champ, I can see your belt there, and
yeah.
Brilliant achievement. How does it feel to be English champ?
To be honest, it's not really sunk in yet, because till I defend the belt, I don't feel like a champ, you know what I mean? I want to defend the belt, and then I can say, right, now I am the real champ, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just in my mind way, I think, you know.
Brilliant. And obviously, looking back on the fight when you won the title, I just want to walk through the fight now, because obviously it's been a few weeks since you won the title. I know it hasn't sunk in, but what are your recollections on the fight itself? You know, how tough was it? How do you feel going into it? Just anything.
To be honest, it was 64 wins, undefeated in boxing. Then obviously his record in bare knuckle were good. Mate, I've got the best team there is, you know what I mean? I've got, you know, Yorkshire MKA, you know what I mean? Team Nightmare. Got an amazing coach behind me with a boxing coach, Terry, who passed away this year. He believed in me. Dave Needham believed in me. You know, so I knew whatever they were going to bring, however good he were going to be, you know, you're either getting knocked out or I were out boxing him. So that's the way it were. I mean, no disrespect to the guy. The guy was a warrior, mate. You know, he could take one and all. I mean, I split his head open and he still wanted to come at me, you know. But it is what it is, isn't it, mate? I won.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the name of the game. And it was a cracking fight as well, champ. Absolutely amazing. Brilliant. All right, then. Now, in a minute, I want to talk about the future as well. Yeah. Because you've got some big fights coming up as well. So I know you were telling me.
I have.
Yeah. Well, so share a bit about those.
Well, I've got my coach's show October 24th. That's in Sheffield at Crooks. That's going to be an hard fight. Hold on a sec. Dave, is that for a title on your show? Is it normal bout? Yeah. Normal bout that. Wanting these titles, you see. But yeah, then obviously I defend my belt in December. And then BFBA, Bare Fifths Association, they wanted me on their show starting from next year. My coach thinks it'd be better because obviously with injuries and stuff like that and defending my belt in December, and we're going to jump on it on November for BFBA. But if I get injured before that, I'm not going to be able to defend my belt. And it's one of them, innit? I want to defend this belt. I want everyone to know, you know, it weren't just a joke, me winning this belt. You know, I train hard every single day. So, you know, I've got the show 24th of October, title defence 18th December. That'll be in Stoke-on-Trent for Bad to Bone. And then fight for BFBA next year, mate.
Brilliant. Incredible. You're definitely on the up and up, definitely a rising star. And everyone keep an eye on this man. You know, he's doing big things already and there's a lot more to come. So it's brilliant. Now, the other thing to give a quick mention to here, though, champ, is businesses outside of the fight game. Because I know you were saying about your clothing line that you've got coming out and all that.
Yeah.
About that. So why don't you share a little bit about what you're doing with that side of things with your entrepreneurship?
I've got Urban Clothing. One of my sponsors, they wanted me to do a bare knuckle line, clothing line, you know, obviously Bam Bam's clothing line, jogging suits, jogging clothes, tops, quotes with tops on, because a lot of my quotes, you know, I sit there, man, and think about for hours. And also More Exposure, who's part of my sponsors as well. They run my fan site and my quotes, and we talk about it as quotes and stuff. So I like them on a lot of tops. Then obviously there'll be rash guards, fight gear, MMA gloves, because I started off in MMA and stuff like that. You know, gloves, all sorts, mate. You know, so they'll be all up and going. And then obviously, you know, it quotes on fan sites. You know, I come up with some pretty mad quotes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you about today as well, because obviously you post a lot of inspirational stuff, you know what I mean? And you post a lot of great quotes and just that to lift people's spirits and give people a boost and all that sort of thing. What is it that sort of inspires you to do that, though? I mean, where do you get the idea that, you know, to start doing that, inspire people?
Well, see, I was brought up in like a pretty rough area. You know what I mean? One of the roughest areas you could probably say in Sheffield. I've lived in, like, God, grew up in Pawson Cross, grew up at Arborthorne Flats when my mum were in flats up there. Grew up in pretty rough Sheffield, you know what I mean? But as you know, a lot of your best fighters, boxers, K1 fighters, bare knucklers, you know, come from Chef, you know what I mean? Or these ends, you know what I mean? So it's like, when I first started, nobody believed, you know, obviously from where I grew up from, how I work, that I'd ever get anywhere or like that. So in my way, in my mind, it was to say, listen, you know, so even to kids that no matter where you come from, no matter what you come from, you can do anything you put your mind to. Challenge yourself, you know what I mean? You know, a road's got two paths in it, you know what I mean? You can always take that other road and change your life around. So a lot of my quotes aren't just to kids, it's to, you know, adults that have messed up or out like that. You know, you can change it all as long as you believe in you, and you can change anything you want to do. So a lot of my quotes are, you know, a lot of my quotes aren't just about fighting, they're about life, you know what I mean? You can always change it no matter what. So yeah, if you have a look on my fan site and stuff like that, you'll see a lot of quotes, you know. I love them. I mean, one of my favourite ones were fight like your third monkey on edge at ramp at Noah's Ark, and it's starting to rain, you know what I mean? So it's a bit of mad quotes, you know what I mean? But it's just the way I think.
Yeah, I love it, champ. I absolutely love it. And anyone watching this, listening to this, if you don't follow Bam already, go give him a follow, because obviously everything he's got going on, the fights, the clothing, all that, but the quotes as well, guys. Really inspirational
Yeah,
stuff.
I mean, I've got boxing fights, K1 fights coming up. You know, I like bare knuckle fights coming up. I like to mix it a little bit and, you know, keep going and keep strong, basically. You know,
Yeah.
You know, I can't let my mind settle. So it's like when my mind's settling, I get bored out of my head. So it's like I try to stay active. I mean, I'm in my gym. I train 3 to 4 to 5 hours a day, even. Sometimes I'm training 6 hours. I'll train 2 in the morning, come to Dave's, you know, to Yorkshire MKA, and I'll train for about 3.5 hours here. You know, so it's a lot of training, man, to keep ready for these fights. You know, I'm not going nowhere. I'm keeping on it. So
yeah, I love it. That's a great insight. I was going to ask you about your training as well, but that's a really good insight. Like 5 or 6 hours a day. I mean, big respect on that, champ. That's really
yeah. I mean,
Dave
never lets me stop training. So if I have a day off, it's one of them. Get in this gym now, you know. So that's what it's like. It's like, you know, any excuse that I come up with, it's like, no, you're coming down at the gym and you're training.
I love it. I love it. Brilliant.
So
the other thing with that, though, champ, I want to give a quick here, because you're talking about the physical training, but you have that real warrior mentality. You know, obviously to do bare knuckle boxing, you have to, but just in general, it comes over in your fights. How do you mentally prepare for a fight? You know, like on the build up to a fight. You know, and we're talking about inspiration.
Me, I train like. To be honest, I train like I'm training for a world title every time. I train basically to be the best I can be. I don't care how good they are. You know, they can be Rocky or Marciano, you know what I mean? End of the day, whoever I'm fighting, I'm in this gym training, and I'll blood, sweat, tears, mate, all day long.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, everyone realizes, a lot of pro fighters will realize that, you know what I mean? You're training for what? 6, 7, 8 rounds, you know what I mean? I'm doing like 40 rounds in sparring. Do you know what I mean? Just for them rounds. So I'll train to fight the best, not because they are the best, but because I believe I'm not yet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally get
I
that.
like to stay humble. I like to keep myself down in my brain. So I'll train like I'm fighting the champions. I'm training like to better myself all the time. You know what I mean? I compete against me every day in my head. So.
I like that. It's a really good insight, and it's an insight the fans don't always see, you know, just from watching the fights. But obviously, they can get a feel for it here, and that's amazing as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, hopefully there'll be a lot more people come to my fights. I mean, I've got a massive, good training team. Got quite a good fans base. You know, I travel all over as well. I'm one of them people that I just treat everybody that just same. You know, treat people with respect. Hopefully, you get respect back in it. You know,
Yeah.
so that's just how I am. And then obviously I get a lot of absolutely amazing messages on my fan page and stuff like that. And I make sure and I try my best to answer them all because, you know, everyone's just like me, innit, you know. And then obviously with kids, you know, I like it when kids message and stuff like that because you want them to do well in life, you know. No matter where they're living and all like that. Obviously, you know, sometimes they've got something. It helps them to have someone to pick them up and all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
So,
That's another question I got for you though, champ. Is, you know, is advice for young fighters? You know, because I get a lot of young fighters watching like this podcast and all that sort of thing, and I love back to the young generation and all that sort of thing. So if you've got young fighters watching this, listening to this, they want to succeed in, you know, any sport or anything in life, you know, but they specifically for sports for this, what would be some advice that, you know, you'd give to them if they want to do well and fight in any style of fight?
just dream, believe, achieve, innit? Just keep going. Don't give up on yourself, you know. I've had many losses, wins, draws, you know, no matter what, just don't quit on yourself, no matter what you do. Just keep going. Not long now, coach. You know, just keep going no matter what. I mean, even if you lose, in my eyes, you haven't lost. You've gone in there, you've learned, and you keep going and going, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, God, how many world champions have been world champions, and then in the first fights, you've lost the first fights. And it's that mentality of, even if you lose, get back in there and keep going, and you'll progress and get to where you want to be, no matter what. But, you know, it's dedication, it's hard work. You know, you've got, no matter what, just keep going. Never quit on you. There'll be people out there that don't believe you and all that, but, you know, fuck them. That's their problem. Keep going.
Brilliant message, champ. It's powerful, absolutely powerful message. Now, obviously, I know you're in training, so there's only a couple more things I want to cover because, you know, I know you've got to get back. But one of them is obviously a good one for all the fight fans watching this. You fought some of the best already, and I know you've got some more to come. And I know, obviously, you were saying you stay humble, but you faced some tough operators in there. So, out of your fights so far, which would you say has been the toughest? You know, physically, mentally, where you really had to dig deep. I mean, I don't know if it's easy fights in bare knuckle, but still.
I'd say my two toughest fights.
Yeah.
Rocky Morgan, because he hits like a sledgehammer. You know, I lost that fight, but I kept getting back up and getting back up and getting back up. But he was just, mate, it's like a sledgehammer. But it was just, I was just one stubborn get. I just thought, mate, my legs ain't going nowhere. I'm getting back up. And then when I fought Luke Nevin was a very tall, heavy fighter, very long. He'd already been a champ before and stuff like that. So when me and him fought, we fought at Manchester, you know, at Ballers in Manchester. me and him fought, and it were, mate, it were an all-out war. You know, an all-out war. My eyeball turned inside my head, my eyelid went up. I said, "Son, just pull it out, just let me keep on, let's fight." You know, so that were a good one. That were an hard, tough fight, that one. But I just kept going, didn't I? So, yeah. And then, you know, my last opponent, he was a good fighter, you know. He was very good. I knew what to expect. I knew he was going to bring a war to me. He got a good overhand. He liked to throw his overhand, so I just knew. Taking from uppercut straight into his ear or his chin, you know. It worked. So, yeah.
Okay, brilliant. And the last couple of things then. What about the sport of bare knuckle itself here, just as a bigger picture? Obviously, bare knuckle boxing is growing. I'd say it's the fastest growing combat sport in the world. I know you compete in a few different ones, but where do you see the actual sport of bare knuckle going over the next, say, 5 years or something like that? You know, in terms of its growth and.
Me personally, I think hopefully it'll be bigger than MMA and as big as boxing. One, you know, it's a tough sport for a start. And two, the fans love it. It's amazing for fans. I mean, when you're at old shows and all, you want to see atmosphere. It's a better atmosphere than most boxing shows. Even it's just an absolute pure adrenaline for fans and fighters. Hopefully the money goes up a lot more in it, which I hope to God that happens. You know, because a lot of fighters have got, you know, I've had to have jobs in pro bare knuckle, but it is getting you, you know. With what David Fillman's doing in America now and everything else, and then you've got BFBA, which I'm going to be fighting for after Christmas. They're making things happen, so hopefully the pay goes up for the fighters. But I see it big, me. You know, I do see it really big. I see it as big as UFC for definite. You know, the fighters. I mean, the fighters have to give blood, sweat, tears, mate, to fight all the time. So, you know, and it's bigger buzz. I'd say it's a bigger adrenaline buzz than outfit fans. So, hopefully, it's going to be massive, mate, and take over. So, we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will. All right, then. So, I know you've got to get back to training. I mean, we've covered some good stuff in here. So, the last one is obviously you've got a lot of fans and supporters watching this, people that already follow you, but obviously, you know, there'll be people that maybe it's the first time they've seen you and heard from you and all that. What would you say to, you know, all your fans and supporters, and anything you'd like to say to them, any special words to the people that follow you and support you, you know?
Just, you know, I can't appreciate your lot enough, you know what I mean? Because we are your lot. I won't really be doing this, would I? I have no one to watch me now, you know, so just keep following me, because there's going to be more things happening and more fights coming. And I'm not one to quit on myself, so my coach definitely won't let me quit. So, you know, just keep watching, guys. And if you ever see me on the street or out like that, you're more than welcome to come up and say hello. You know, I don't bite, I ain't an animal. I might be in ring, but not at a ring, you know. But yeah, just keep following me. As much support as I can get, it's much appreciated, you know.
Awesome. Well, champ, you know, big respect for your time. Thank you very much for obviously hopping on
Thank
here.
you very much.
My pleasure. I'm glad we finally got it done. Brilliant. All right, then, champ, you have a great session.
God bless, man. God bless. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Big respect. Talk soon. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.